So in this video, we're going to be talking about something I missed, but shouts out to Farron Cousins at Ring of Fire. He covered this, and what I'll do is I'll find his video and I'll link it below for anyone who wants like better analysis than what I can offer, and less ads. So Trump announces executive order suspending regulations impeding the U.S. economy. So this is a very extremely dangerous thing what Trump is doing, and so Trump, eager to juice the staggering U.S. economy, in order to boost his re-election, has signed an executive order on Tuesday that he said designed to help businesses designed to help businesses by cutting regulation. So he said the president told the cabinet members during a White House meeting the order gives you tremendous power to cut regulations. And so what he's going to do is he's going to try and force open businesses that aren't safe. And he's done this with I think it's called the Defense Protection Act or something like that, where he's basically forced manufacturing places to stay open despite the fact that they're not safe for workers. And so what you're risking is a huge second wave. Not surprising given this man's a monumental buffoon. And so the order is about instructing federal agencies to use any and all authority to waive, suspend, and eliminate unnecessary regulations that impede economic recovery, Trump said before signing it with a large felt pen, overcompensating mushroom boy. And we want to leave it that way, he said. Mr. Trump said, by nixing regulations, especially ones put in place by the Obama administration, a top priority during his over 3 years, prior of his, there should be a comma there, during his time in office. But on Tuesday, he was unable to put his deregulation efforts into clear historical perspective. I mean, in the 3.5 years that we've been here, we've cut far more regulations by a factor of a lot than any other administration and any other presidency. He didn't make sense. And so what he's going to do is going to risk more people dying within specifically like places like manufacturing where regulations are already lax, and you're going to end up with more people killed, like Kelso Mendoza, a story that I covered in another video, which feel free to watch after you finish watching this one. And we can see places like Mississippi where the amount of cases they have is still very high. It's still very high, 300 cases, and New York has got 1,000 cases. So you can see here there's a big gap. But when you take into population differences into account here, you can see that per million, Mississippi has a higher death count, and their death numbers, given how many cases they have, is very low. So if we go back into the raw numbers, in terms of cases, they have about 274 cases and about 10 deaths, and that could be just a case of testing, given the fact that these sort of like states in America, I'm not sure how good the healthcare would be in a state like Mississippi. But what we do know is that the CDC wants states to count probable coronavirus cases and deaths, but most aren't doing it. So if a person has died from, most likely they had the coronavirus symptoms and they died as a result of that, on the death certificate they're not saying that they died from coronavirus, and this is what's keeping the death rate very low. This is the different to what the ONS are doing, I believe, in the UK, and that's why the US statistics are very off, and that's what makes me reluctant to do a video comparing countries, specifically the UK with the US, purely because their numbers aren't as accurate as ours, as far as I know of. So fewer than half the states are following federal recommendations to report probable novel coronavirus cases and deaths, marking what experts say is an unusual break with public health practices that leads to inconsistent data collection and undercounts of the disease's impact. A Washington Post review found that states not disclosing probable cases and thus includes some of the largest states. So we've got California, Florida, North Carolina, and New York. It doesn't mention Mississippi here, but I would wager Mississippi is one of them. This is one of the reasons why government officials and public health experts say the virus's true death toll is above the US tally as of Sunday of about 1.9 million coronavirus cases and 109,000 deaths, benchmarks that shape policy making and public opinions on the pandemic. I couldn't find any data on like total US excess deaths from coronavirus, which is really frustrating. So if anyone has got a link for it, please give it in the comments. But look, this is a message to anyone who thinks that deregulating en masse is going to help working class people. It's not, and a lot of the people who are going to die from coronavirus are older people and people forced back into unsafe working conditions. So you think that these guys, any working class people that votes for these types of people, they're not your friend. They are not your friend. And so look, a lot more people are going to die, and you're risking a huge second wave, Don the Con. And so look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.